Hello everybody, welcome back to KWT's Microsoft Outlook Basics course. Today we're going to take a look at some of the methods that help keep our Outlook environment clean. And we're going to start with archiving. Outlook, like any other software, is susceptible to slowdowns when too much data is involved. It is important to keep your Outlook as clean as possible to prevent these types of frustrating slowdowns. In a corporate environment, you may also encounter IT departments that put a limit on the size of your mailbox so that you are forced to keep it clean. Otherwise, you risk losing the ability to send and receive emails. Mailbox cleanup options can be found under File and Tools. You can check the size of your mailbox here to see if you're coming up against any particular limits. You can search for old or large items that you can then archive or delete. You can force an empty of your deleted items folder. You can also look for and correct conflicts if you're in a corporate environment. So conflicts can occur during the syncing process, where Exchange is constantly trying to keep your Outlook client in sync with what is on the Exchange server. Sometimes errors occur, causing conflicts that can be cleaned up here. The other time you will occasionally get duplicates that can be cleaned up here is if you have done any kind of importing or restoring of emails into your client. Archiving is a way to move large quantities of emails and other Outlook entries like calendar entries to a folder that is separate from your mailbox. And you decide the criteria that will move these emails. And here you can see some of the options that you can control. You decide how often your auto archive runs. You can ask it to prompt before every run so that you're aware that it's happening. You decide how old items need to be before they are archived, whether that's 1 month, 6 months, 12 months. You can also decide whether expired items should just be deleted or if they should be archived as well. And finally, you tell it where you want it to archive to. And that could be to a PST file, or in a corporate environment, you may be given a cloud or a server-based archive location to which you need to archive your emails. Some of these values, some of these settings may be mandated by your IT department within a corporate environment. Archived emails are moved en masse in whatever structure they are found in the mailbox itself. So if you do not have a folder structure within the mailbox, all of your archived emails will be lumped together in the archive location. That's fine if you are okay with using the filter, sort, and search methods for you to find items later on. But if you prefer to have a structured set of folders in your archive, then you'll want to introduce that folder structure within your mailbox originally, so that when these emails are archived, it will take that folder and subfolder structure along with it to the archives. Or you may prefer to manually file your emails rather than using the auto archive, which is fine as well. Conversation cleanup is another tool that you can use, and we talked about conversation view in some past modules. Now, this can be applied to a single conversation, to a single folder, or to a structure of folders. You decide when it's going to be run. It will not run automatically. But once you've decided it will run, you can adjust these particular options so you can protect certain types of emails from being cleaned up. Perhaps categorized, unread, flagged messages should not be cleaned up within a conversation. You also tell it where to put the emails that will be cleaned up from a conversation. If you don't put anything in, they will go to the deleted items folder. But you could technically have them move to a folder in a PST folder, for example, whatever you think makes sense for you. But conversation cleanup makes a lot of sense. There's a lot of duplicate information in a conversation. You think about every reply contains all of the original message. So a conversation that goes on for a long time, that thread has a lot of duplicate text in it, and Microsoft, using this tool, will identify which messages can go without losing any content. Now, calendar entries can be made part of the archiving process. But there are times when you want to do a manual cleanup of your calendar as well. And you can do this fairly easily by going to your calendar, selecting a list type view, and sort it by date. You can then select multiple older calendar entries using Control-Click and delete them en masse. Now, you want to make sure you remove any groupings. In this particular case, I'm showing it's grouped by recurrence type. So you may want to remove that grouping so you can do your deletion all in one fell swoop. Or you may prefer to do something different based on the recurrence type. So you might want to delete older calendar entries if there is no recurrence, if these are one-off meetings, whereas if they're weekly or monthly recurring meetings, maybe you want to keep some of those emails and not go back as far into the past to delete them. So there you go. That's a little bit about archiving and some of the cleanup tools that you can use within Outlook. We'll see you in the next module when we will be talking about spam and junk mail. Thank you very much. That concludes this module.